Hi, I'm Mark, and I'm here today to give you an update on the Canyon Ultimate CFSL disc road bike. And this is a follow-up video from the assembly video. And I had a lot of questions about this particular bike, and so I thought it'd be great to answer those questions in a video, and then also give you a list of the things I love about this bike and all the maintenance I've had to do so far. So check it out. Okay, so I've had this Canyon for about 11 months right now. And what do you think is my favorite thing about it? Just take a guess. What do you think I love most about this bike? Here's a better view so you can see everything. Okay, I'll tell you. So the thing I love most about this Canyon is how it climbs. The very first time I took it on a substantial climb, I live in the Potomac area of Maryland, lots of hills around here, some very, very steep. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the difference from my older Cannondale. How light it was. I felt like a different rider. Whatever they did with the strengthening in the tube set here, and then the lightness of the carbon frame, it works. So I just felt like I was floating in air, and I'm pretty sure that the DT Swiss light aluminum rims, these aren't carbon, but aluminum rims also help. Something else to note regarding climbing is that in the first few months of riding this bike around here, I broke all of my PRs. Some of these PRs I set in the area about 7-8 years ago. And I'll just tell you, I'm 50. So I'm breaking PRs from when I was just barely out of my 30s. And granted, I have smarter training now, and I'm more focused on how I train for triathlon, which is my main sport. But the bike, come on, let's face it, is a big part of that. And so I was very impressed. So that's probably the thing I like most, is the ability to climb, the lightness of it, and the stiffness of it. It is truly unbelievable on hills. The other thing that I particularly love about this particular model is the comfort. Now, some of you had asked me about the comfort of my frame. Was it a comfortable bike to ride? So I do ride with a pretty extreme racing position, as you can see here. And by the way, that's my Endurance to Perform triathlon kit with the flames. Hope you like that. And I'll give you more information if you want to join our team at the end of the video. But the position pretty much was preset in many ways. So I was worried how it would fit me. I was worried the seat post wouldn't go high enough. I was worried about the length of the stem because it's an aero stem, so it's set. And so all those things were my concerns. But with my racing position, and in the last year, I've actually dropped my stem down by 1 spacer. So I used to have it maxed up, and I've dropped it down by 1 spacer. And then Canyon gives you an enormous amount of room to play with that stem height. So you can go as relaxed as you want or as extreme as you want. And then of course, if you go more extreme, you can just saw off the rest of that stuff. I suggest you have a bike mechanic do it to get it perfect. This frame is an XL, extra large. I followed all of the Canyon recommendations for sizing to the letter, weight, height, everything. They recommended an XL, perfect. I know the pros often go a size down from their recommended frame size, but not a pro. So I went for the recommended one. I wanted some comfort. So my weight is about 92 kilos, 185 pounds, my race weight, and my height is 1.93 meters or 6 feet 4 inches. So it fits me beautifully. Again, if you notice that photo of me, you can see how it fits nicely. The stem. This is an aero stem. Check it out. I think it is the most beautiful part of this bike. I love these aero stems. I can never go back to a regular stem handlebar setup ever. I'm always gonna stay with the Aero rim setup. I love it. But that was my big concern. The very first thing, if you noticed in my unpacking video, I was like, oh, would the handlebars be wide enough? Would the stem be long enough? I usually ride a 130 millimeter, and this is about 120. Well, the answer to me, and I have really long arms, yes, absolutely not a problem. I have all the reach that I desire, because again, the Canyon has a nice long top tube in the XL, longer of course than the large, much longer. Well, by say much, I mean by a couple of millimeters. And then they have the longest stem reach on the XL, and so it's plenty. And I never find myself feeling like I am not stretched out enough. And I do that old measurement from when I was a young cyclist about when you look down at your wheel, are you looking ahead of the hub or behind the hub? And I'm right just on the hub. So in theory, that's one way to see that your bike is long enough. So it works, it works. Okay. Once again, noticing the frame set, the other thing that I love about this bike is the beauty of it. At the time I got this last year, there were two choices of color. Black, with blacked out lettering. Boring, right? Or this nice blue with white lettering. And you never know how it looks in person until you get it. And the first thing I loved when I opened it was just this perfect shade of blue. It's a nice light blue, and then that white on blue is beautiful. And then the top there, you can see it has black accent. See if I can position that around. It has a nice black with white accent on it. Blue fork, and then beautiful blue accent back here. Everything is blue. Because, you know, come on, you're riding and you want to stand out, you want to be noticed. And I think the flashier the better when it comes to. All right, let me go to the group set here. I have Shimano Ultegra, and I'm riding with Speedplay ultralight stainless steel pedal. Here's the other thing I love about this bike. And I realize it doesn't have anything to do with the frame, but it's the group set and the Shimano Di2 electric shifts. Just listen for a minute. I don't know if you can hear that very well, but you gotta see these things. If you don't have Di2, or the even better wireless SRAM, which is completely wireless, this actually has a physical wire that runs through the tubes, the frame, and comes out here at the rear derailleur. So it actually has a physical wire. The SRAM is pure wireless. Okay, I had a budget, so I went for the Di2 with the wire. And I was on the fence. I thought, well, I could save a couple hundred and just go for the manual like I have on my tri-bike. Nothing wrong with it, right? Trust me, once you go Di2, you're never going to go back. It is amazing. And watch for a follow-up video. I'll show how to adjust the rear derailleur with your cell phone. Now, I did have to add the Bluetooth module for the Di2, which was available online, I think for about 60 bucks, to connect with my phone. Otherwise, you can just plug your computer right here and you can update all of your settings. I just like the convenience of using Bluetooth with my phone. It's a little bit quicker. And the other cool thing, you can change the settings here to anything you want. If you want the large lever to downshift, you can do it. There are two buttons up here that are custom buttons. I have it synced to my Garmin head unit. I can push those and it brings up a map, or you can push it to bring up your elevation, all fully customizable in the app. I know, it's too good to believe. Plus the speed, you just tap it. You just tap it, instant shift, instant back. It self trims and it self adjusts. Di2, you gotta have it. I need to talk about the wheels. So going off the frame a little bit, these are the DT Swiss P1800, P1800 aluminum rims. And my first thought was when I got the bike, I would immediately upgrade to a more aero rim. But I loved these wheels so much. They're so light, they're durable. that I stay with them, and I don't plan on changing them. I love them. I wish they were a little bit, more aero, because those just tend to look cooler. But for the type of riding I do around here, I wanted a lighter wheel, and I don't have to worry about the crosswinds so much because it's very windy in this area during the spring especially. So I was really happy with these rims, and these tires, by the way, it came with Continental 5000s. I loved the tire. I know, the tire I loved so much that I put the exact pair on my triathlon bike, because the way they corner, the way they handle, the lightness, and then the race readiness of that tire. So they're already giving you a good tire. They're not cheaping out when you go to this level of bike. You get some. Okay, let's talk about maintenance. Oh boy, how much maintenance do you think I've had to do in about a year on this bike? Any guesses? Okay, you're gonna be happy with this. If you're on the fence about a Canyon, thinking maybe it's a fussy bike, no. All the maintenance I've had to do is adjust the rear derailleur, because just wear and tear. The adjustment was stretching a little, the chain adjustment. It took me 5 minutes on the app. And then the rear disc, the disc brakes on this bike are self-adjusting. However, the rear one was getting a little bit of a rub, so I just did the very quick 3 to 4 minute unscrew, tighten the brake lever, readjust, and it fixed it right away. Other maintenance. I keep the chain lubed. That's it. I'm not kidding you. In a year of pretty heavy riding, that's it. That is it. How's that for cool? Okay, so back to the fit of the bike. Now, you're probably thinking there must be something that perhaps you're not crazy about. Kinda. I have the Physique, I forget the brand name. This came with the bike, the Physique Saddle. And it felt weird at first, felt really bouncy. Over time, I've kind of come to like it, but I don't love it. So I'm probably gonna eventually get one of those fancy saddles that have the cutout in the middle, similar to what I have on my tri bike. But it's not bad, it's comfortable, but I don't love it. But obviously it's not terrible, otherwise I would have already replaced it. So I'm not crazy about the Physique saddle. And there's a little bit of squeaking coming from the seat posts in the first couple of months. And I just had to find that fine balance of using the carbon paste that comes with your bike. Just make sure you keep it a good amount of carbon paste on there. It's not at all even a maintenance issue. It's just a noise issue. Just keep carbon paste in there and that'll prevent any squeaking on that. Other than that, I've had only that one noise from the rear derailleur. Nothing to do with the frame. It was just a quick adjustment. Went away. It is very quiet to ride. It doesn't have a loud freewheel noise like some of the aero rims do. So the overall bike is very quiet, it's very smooth, and I'm running 25mm tires, so it's fairly comfortable on the rough stuff. But the frame is stiff, so you are getting a carbon fiber bike. You need to know that you're gonna feel everything. So you can only get so much comfort out of the tires. So it's gonna be a very stiff frame, but that's what we want as a racer. Stiff as we can get away with without being so stiff that it jars your teeth out. This has a good combination of all that. It's kind of a more relaxed geometry, but still race aggressive. So that's my follow-up video. In short, I'm literally in love with this bicycle. I just can't get over the reasonable price it was, considering there's no middleman. You order direct from Canyon. They ship it. You can watch my unpacking video to see really how easy it is to put it together. It rides like a dream. It's the envy of my friends, and that's not a good reason to get a bike, but people have been admiring it. It's easy to live with, it's so lightweight, and it's really a dream bike for me. And it doesn't bust the budget. So I do recommend, if you're on the fence, go for the Canyon, upgrade to the Di2. If you're really feeling crazy, upgrade to the SRAM wireless, and you'll be unstoppable. So feel free to ask me follow-up questions. I'll try to answer every single one that I get. And thanks for watching.